I'm Jerry Crise, and this is my wonderful wife, Sue, and we are serving at First United Methodist Church in Covington, Louisiana. We've come to the time when we've decided to retire, but we want to continue on in active ministry as long as God will let us. I look back on the days since I began this call to ministry. I was always going to church, and then in Lafayette, when we moved there in 1985, I began working with a mission church, and Sue and I helped that church to grow, and we had the head elder became ill with cancer, and I ended up taking his place when he passed away. Our president and building chair left the church right before we got the completion of the building, so I had to finish that job, and then right after we finished completion, we were moved to Monroe, Louisiana. So God is good. He moves us when we need to and uses us where we're at. In Monroe, we lived for 20 years, and that's when I went into the formal ministry. I was at Lee Joyner United Methodist Church and began with Weldon Barres in looking at going into ministry. Went to a weekend down at the Wesley Center and learned a lot. And through that, I went back, and 2 weeks later, I asked our district superintendent, Marie Williams, to give me the candidacy book. I got the book, and just 2 or 3 days later, we were out at the NLU baseball field watching her soon-to-be son-in-law pitch for the Indians. She came over and sat down beside Richard and I, and she said, "I've got 2 churches you need to serve because their pastor passed away." And I wasn't sure I was ready for that, but it turned out to be the best thing, and I've never looked back since. 6 churches later and a seminary degree, an MDiv from Perkins School of Theology, led to our first appointment down into Quincy, and then moved to Ball and served at Palestine and Bethel. Then when Sue's mother needed us down in the South Louisiana, we moved to Covington, and that's where we are serving at the present time. I would like to thank some people who have been so important. There are so many, I could be here for quite a while, but there are 3 that are extremely important to having gotten me into the formal ministry. First of all, Weldon Barres at Lee Joyner United Methodist Church, and his encouragement and work with me. Then my candidacy mentor, I still see very frequently, Reverend Spiller Milton, and he just was getting close to retirement, but he took me on as being my mentor, and I just loved the time learning from him and growing with him. And then, of course, Marie Williams, who got me started and then has always supported me all throughout my ministry. And many other pastors and mentors and district superintendents that have been so important to me in my life.